a few recent additions to the collection. This quite a large, not as big as the one behind it, but quite a large flag for the fallen with World War One images in the corners, aircraft, soldiers, ship, got the cenotaph down there. Quite a nice thing. But look at the size of this. This is about 8 foot by whatever. Quite possibly the biggest Armistice Day flag I've ever seen in my life. So that's quite a size. I mean, you can't really tell from looking through this video, but it is absolutely massive Armistice Day flag. So we'll have a look at some of the other bits and pieces that have come in. I'll just get this camera kind of sorted out. So what else has come in over the past few months? Well, we'll need to put this there. First of all, a 3-piece, as they all are, British 44 pattern webbing belt. Need to put together. That's one bit. That's the back bit. That's the other side. So that's 44 pattern. Quite a nice thing. The next thing that has come in has been some 37 pattern cross straps. Always handy for making up webbing. 37 pattern British cross straps. And some, if I can find them, mismatched pair British Mark, not that one, where's it at? Mismatched pair British Army Mark III 37 pattern Bren pouches, and that one has the loops for the blank rounds for the rifle grenade launcher. That one doesn't. Again, always handy to have. A pair of rare Mark I 37 pattern pouches, and the difference is, what makes these rare is that's the one you always find, and you can see there's a distinctive size difference in the two, one being a few inches shorter than the other, particularly when the lid is closed. You see there's a distinctive difference, so that's nice to have, a pair of those. A pair, not 2 odd ones, which is nice, a pair of, I think, the Mark II British 44 pattern pouches. That one's got the bayonet mount on it. That's nice. What else have we got? We've also got in a really nice, very, very rare, I've only ever seen 2 of them. This, if you didn't know what it was, you wouldn't know what it was. It's one of those things. One of those. Now, do you know what that is? 2-piece white metal belt buckle. It's got the motto "In Defence." It's got a cross and some roses. Well, that feature in the middle is a feature on the shield, which is part of the arms of the city of Carlisle in Cumbria. And what this is, it's a very rare belt buckle of the first Carlisle Cumberland Rifle Volunteer Corps, circa 1860. The Volunteer Corps was a corps that was formed all over the UK. Every kind of town and village seemed to have one. And it was a kind of home guard. It was in response to concerns about a potential invasion of the UK by the French. And the units all over the UK were composed of volunteers. This is from Carlisle in Cumbria. Usually from the middle classes, who were small in number, as they were an independent thing from the British Army. Eventually, they all became the nucleus of the Territorial Force in 1908 and went on to play a role in home defence and could be called upon for overseas service in time of a national emergency. So that's based on the centrepiece is on the coat of arms of Red Cross and Red Roses, which is part of the coat of arms of the family of William de Carlisle. And in defence is thought to be a Scottish motto. So that's the first Carlisle Cumberland Rifle Volunteer Corps. And to go with that, which is very rare, I also got this first Cumberland Rifle Volunteer. Again, it's Carlisle based, never went anywhere. Forage Cap badge, circa 1860-1887. This unit was formed on the 15th of February 1860 at Carlisle, and it eventually became part of the 1st Cumberland Volunteer Battalion, the Board Regiment, in December 1887. So this is the first pattern cap badge. The second pattern cap badge I showed a little bit a while ago. That's unfortunately, it's had the slider put on it. Originally it's supposed to have lugs on it, but it's got a slider. And to go with that, this white metal upward curved Cumberland title. What's rare about this is it's white metal, it's not brass. What's missing from this is a separate letter V, which goes kind of in the middle, and this is the shoulder title of the Carlisle Cumberland Rifle Volunteers. The lugs are missing off it, but again, quite a nice piece to have. And then we have a standard 52 to 59 pattern 2-piece Board Regiment Officers Frosted Silver Cap badge. It's 2-piece in that the main badge is 1 piece. The centre bit is a separate piece. Unfortunately, it's lost its slider, but it's quite a nice chunky badge. Next one is a bit of a mystery. It's a 5th Volunteer Battalion, the Board Regiment cap badge, but it is cast brass. Normally these badges to this regiment are stamped white metal. Normally cap badges that are cast brass are for units that go out to India. They have them privately made. The 5th Battalion never went to India. They never went out the country really. So this is a bit of a, why is it cast brass? No idea. There is a tale that it may have been made in a local foundry, or it may just be a variation of a collar badge. I know the officers' collar badges were similar, but were made in bronze, so that might just be a variation of a collar badge. I don't know. But anyway, cast brass, 5th Battalion, the Board Regiment. And this is an Edwardian 08 pattern, small Board Regiment forage cap badge. There's 2 variations of this badge. One's got a Victorian crown and one's got a King's crown. And the Victorian crown one is very, very commonly found. The King's crown one is extremely hard to find. So again, nice addition. It's been rubbed there, so it's missing some of the detail, but it's a really nice badge and not one that you'll commonly find. Another badge that we've got is the badge of the 34th Cumberland Regiment. Way back in the day, what is now Cumbria since 1974 was Cumberland and Westmoreland. Cumberland was served by the 34th Regiment of Foot. Westmoreland was the 55th Regiment of Foot. This is the first pattern 1881 Glengarry badge. It's the first pattern because it doesn't have a scroll on the bottom. The later reissue of this badge would have a scroll across the bottom which read Arroyo dos Molinos, which was a battle for the Peninsular Campaign. This one doesn't have that scroll on it, so it's the earlier pattern of the badge. 2 lugs on the back. Again, nice badge. Then there's the 34th Regiment of Foot cap badge. This is a Shako badge, circa 1876. No, it's a Glengarry badge. This is a common badge when the British Army went over to Glengarry's. This harks back to the days of the foot regiments. So every foot regiment would have had this issue badge at some stage, but with their number on it for their foot regiment. This one, 34th, is for the 34th Cumberland Regiment. There would also be a 55th for the 55th Westmoreland Regiment, and other county regiments would have the same thing as well. Quite a nice thing. We also have, I should also say, in 1881 the 34th and 55th Foot would merge to become the Border Regiment. This is a World War II German Pak 38 anti-tank gun round, fitted with an AZ-39 fuse, which is an impact fuse. It's 42 dated. This is a 5cm round for the Pak 38. It's also the main tank armament for the Panzer III tank. That's quite a rare thing. Haven't got a shell case for that, but we live in hope. So Pak 38 anti-tank gun round. What else do we have? We have this box. This is a box of World War II German Druckzunder 35 fuses. These are used on most German mines, anti-personnel mines, Brettstock mines, alloy anti-tank mines, and the Heft Hollerdung mine. It's a standard pattern pressure fuse. It's got a standard pattern screw to fit most German mines. You pull the safety out, and it's just basically, you stand on it, it goes off, vehicle goes over it, it goes off, activates it. That's 4 in the box. To give you some reference on today's market, these would individually market at about £90 each, believe it or not. It's just a shame that the paper label's missing off the box, because the paper label would be a really nice ornate thing with the eagle and swastika and the details on it in German script, but it's missing from this example. The box, I don't know if you can see it, but it's got some impression stamped into it there. So that's a box of German Druckzunder 35 fuses. What else have we got? This is a World War I German or Austrian 7.7cm Feldkannon 96 field gun shell case, manufactured in Austria at Berndorf. So it says Berndorf there, which was a town in Austria. And to go with it is the actual shell itself. So that's the Feldkannon Model 96 field gun. It was a high velocity shell, and the high velocity noise it made gave it the nickname by the Allies of the whiz bang. So that's the famous whiz bang shell. Goes in there like that. I haven't got one of those in the collection, but I have now. This one, you know what that one is? It's an anti-tank gun round. If we turn it over, get it the right way up. Now then, this number 4 indicates that it was made in the 4th quarter of 1937. The MR is the loading factory, and the F at the bottom is the metal supplier. Have you guessed what it is yet? It's 25mm caliber. It's French 25mm anti-tank gun shell. It saw service with the French in the first years of the Second World War, obviously. And when France fell, the Germans made use of the anti-tank gun in the static defences of the Atlantic Wall in France and on the Channel Islands. And also the Germans made quite a bit of money by selling surplus captured French anti-tank guns to their allies at the time. So, for example, Finland got 67 from Germany. The Germans themselves designated the anti-tank gun as the 2.5cm PAC 113F, and Spain got 150 sold by Germany in 1943. Italy had 43, and then the Germans sold them an additional 250 for use by the Italian army in North Africa. And it's fitted with the armour piercing shell. That's quite a nice item. Large caliber French shells, because obviously because of the French surrender, there's not too many large caliber shells about. I mean, the most common one is the World War I 75mm, which, you know, every man and his dog's got one of those. But the kind of World War II ones, like this, very, very rare to find. In spite of the fact that the gun that it was for actually served until 1945 with many other armies after the French surrender. So it was a long-served gun. So you would think there would be more of these around as they are. I've also seen these erroneously advertised as American 40mm rounds, which they're actually not. So if you know what you're looking at, you can get yourself some quite rare things. So that's a French 1937 model 25mm anti-tank gun case. Well, round actually. And I think finally, I've got this standard. This is a standard American 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cell magazine pouch for the Thompson submachine gun. I think it's been one of those 1942 USA to Russia Lend-Lease ones, which originally started out with no markings, but after the Russians surplused them, they ended up on the market and American dealers put fake markings on them. I think that's that's what this is. It's got fake markings on it. So yeah, so quite an unusual little haul, which kind of gives you an idea of the sort of stuff that I'm into, and it will all come in handy in its own little way. 37 pattern, 44 pattern webbing, some more ordnance, some local to me Border Regiment, Cumberland Regiment stuff, more ordnance, Thompson submachine gun items. So yeah, bye for now.